Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' with. Rams Buzz Podcast, hit like, share and link. Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' with. Rams Buzz Podcast, home of the champions. Who's how, Rams how, you know who we rollin' with. Rams Buzz Podcast, hit like, share and link. Who's how, Rams how, you know.
Welcome to another episode of Go to Rams Buzz Podcast with Chris, Damon, and Sal. Oh man, Sal, today we're going to talk about the Rams' playoff defeat by 1 point to the Detroit Lions. The Rams lose 24-23 to the Lions. Matthew Stafford was 25 of 36 for 367 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. And the guy that we traded for, the whole Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff was 22 of 27, 277 yards, 1 TD. Puka Nacua, Sal, set a record. 9 receptions, a rookie record, 9 receptions, 181 yards. Sal, thoughts on the game?
Well, I knew going into the game, one of the keys was the Rams had to get pressure on Goff, and they didn't do it. He was able to take the first 3 possessions, march down the field, scored a touchdown 3 times in a row. And I think especially for a young team, to be able to overcome that was pretty impressive. The Rams, their defense made adjustments, came out in the second half, but the emotion was crazy, right? The emotion in that stadium, you could feel it as a fan. I'm not a fan. I never, make excuses or talk about the refs, but there was at least like 5, different situations, where I think flags should have been called. That game was going to be chippy anyway. But, some of the hits, like that Tyler Higbee hit, they tried to defend that. The hit on Stafford, steps on his shoulder. And, but in that the third and 14 play with Puka Nacua. But, I think that, I was just so proud of this team, the way they were able to overcome so much all season long, defy, all the so-called experts and a lot of the predictions that they had for the Rams. And, till the end, that was one of the most exciting playoff games this year, right? This game actually lived up to the hype, and that's what the playoffs are all about. The Rams only lost by 1 point, but and it was strange because when I was watching the game, when the game was over, I started getting texts, and people were like, oh, I feel bad, sorry the Rams lost, and I feel bad. And it was odd because I was driving home and I'm thinking, I didn't feel sad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, God, it's amazing. I think I was so proud of this team, and I was more excited about the future and what this team's going to be able to do in the future that I really wasn't disappointed. I was disappointed we didn't go further, but I was satisfied that the Rams left it all on the field. There's going to be a winner and a loser in every game. And, all I ask is that the Rams give it all they had, and they did. So I was okay with that.
In my opinion, the refs didn't defeat the Rams. The Rams defeated the Rams 3 different times in the red zone. Detroit goes, 3 different drives. They scored first 3. But the Rams were in the red zone 3 different times, Sal, and got 3 field goals. We get 1 touchdown, this whole thing changes. If we win this game, or, nobody's going to talk about penalty, because when you win, nobody ever brings up a penalty. Only when you lose, pass interference, Puka, Matthew Stafford. But if we win that game by 1 point or 7 points, okay, we're on to whoever we play, Tampa Bay or stuff like that. But the Rams defeated themselves, and I knew it. So I'm like, come on, because 2 of the best games the Rams in the NFL this year, the Rams played Baltimore Ravens. We're in the red zone, Sal. We lost because at the end of the game they ran an extra, the special teams. And then this game, again, the Rams, I don't understand. Again, the red zone, they want to pass. Why don't they run the? I don't understand it. Like,
well, that's another. So you think of the games we lost, right?
Yes.
The Rams' running game was solid, right? Against the Ravens, I think the Rams had 9 consecutive runs. And then we get in the red zone, and then you start passing. To me, it's just like, keep running the ball until they stop it. You don't have to there's no style points. It doesn't matter. Just get the ball in the end zone. And, the Rams, that was one thing that the Rams do need to improve on is you got to come out with 7, not field goals, especially with our problems with the kicker too. So, yeah, I would have just we had our chances to win that game, definitely. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not that disappointed, because as good as the Lions were, the Rams, still competed and still had a chance to win the game. And that's all you want to be in position to win a game, at the end of the game. And the Rams had the opportunity, just kind of blew that.
But I understand, 4 minutes to go. The clock management, the timeouts before the third quarter, no time on one timeout at half. I'm like, you're gonna need this. Take the yardage, take the penalty. It's okay. Don't use your timeouts because we're gonna need them later on.
Yes.
You punt the ball. It's 4th and 14. You go 3rd and 14. You try to throw a bomb to Puka, which penalty or not penalty, but run the ball because they're expecting a pass. Run a ball, probably get 5 or 6 yards, and then make it easier. But to go for it 3rd and 14, it's like, come on now, and then. You punt the ball away. I'd rather have the ball in Stafford's hands because he was killing them. 7 yards of play, he's killing Detroit.
Well, Detroit's pass defense was kind of weak.
It was.
So that's what the Rams were trying to exploit. But also keep in mind, when the Rams lost Kyron Williams, and you had Ronnie Rivers, that's kind of a drop off. Yeah. So the Rams really, again, that, the game was in Stafford's hands. And then also that 3rd and 14, that's not really a high percentage play, right? And after the game, Puka was saying he kind of felt like he let the team down, like he should have, they depended on him to come down with the ball. And it's like, it shouldn't be, come down to one play. The Rams had their opportunities. So I was more disappointed even at the end of the first half where we just kind of ran out the clock. Instead of, you got to be aggressive. Every time you touch the ball, you're going to need every single point you can get your,
When we weren't aggressive, it took me back to the Tampa Bay playoff game. Weren't the Rams aggressive? Yeah. And they're way further away to get to Tampa Bay when love of the game play and all that stuff happened. Yeah. I'm like, come on, play with a sense of urgency. We're not stopping nobody either. But second half, it was a whole different dynamic. They scored 3 points and we still lost by a point. I'm like, come on, why couldn't we have those adjustments the first? Right then, Raheem Morris say, hey, you know what? This is Jared Goff. Let me look back at film that Miami Dolphin game, the Lions game, when we had a certain defense. Yeah. Do more blitzes, more. I didn't understand. And then our bread and butter, we didn't run it at all. The jet sweep. We ran it one time, right, with Puka,
Well, I think sometimes, I love Coach McVay.
Yeah.
But nobody is above, criticism, right? So you look at when the Rams had Goff, how many times, look at the way we utilize the timeouts. We were always out of timeouts.
Always. He's always in his head
Right. So sometimes when they send in the play, it takes, it's kind of delayed. So instead of getting, delay a game, he calls timeout. I'd rather take the penalty for delay a game than and save that timeout for when we're going to need it. It was frustrating watching the Lions run out the clock, and there was nothing we could do.
Knee. Okay.
You remember that Pittsburgh game, too, when we didn't have any timeouts, and we could have challenged that last play, right? The mark, when they marked the ball and they gave him a first down.
Yeah,
these are all because of lack of timeout. So,
and I love McVay as a coach, but sometimes I think he overthinks pass, something. I'm just like trickery. Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Just little trick plays that Andy Reid does. And just you know what I'm saying?
But he even admits it. He says when they run the ball and you don't gain, he feels like it's a wasted down. But it's not. It's part of football. It's like, as a boxer, you're working the body. You're setting up for the knockout. You don't have to go for the knockout right away. So I think there's some things he can improve, but, he's so young. He doesn't have a coach that's going to override him. None of these coaches that he brings in are going to challenge him. Whatever he says goes. So he, if he had a veteran, coach, he could say, hey, you know what, let's kind of just, change it up a little bit, or let's utilize we're going to need our timeouts. Like the last game against San Francisco, Mike LaFleur is the one that called the plays, right? You see how aggressive he was with Carson Wentz? Yes. You know how all those design runs? He beat up the Niner defense. That's what you got to do. You have them on the ropes. Just keep running. Don't deviate from that. You can score. As long as you're moving the ball positive yards, you can win that way also.
We got to talk about Tyler Higbee. ACL that hit, and he's possibly out for the year next year, Sal. So that hurt because he just signed a contract a couple years ago.
He did. Well, he was a big part of what the Rams did, and that play was just. I was looking for the penalty on it. You can't let players play like that, and that's one of the things that bothers me when you have guys like Dan Campbell, even as a player, like Ditka. They're super aggressive, but when you're aggressive like that, you start taking cheap shots at a lot of teams that you play. You get a reputation of that, like that. But, what can you say? They won. They moved on. We're at home.
Let's talk about before I introduce our guest, let me talk about a couple of the NFC playoff games. Obviously, the Rams lost. Dallas and Green Bay. Who called that? Green Bay whipped that, what? They came in. They had they couldn't do nothing for love. I had love for love that game because them Cowboys fans, them what we going to be. Sal.
Yeah.
After, kicked.
At home.
The score was
But
27-0.
you know what the crazy thing is? They were undefeated at home all season long, right?
Last year,
and then they wait till the end and then lay an egg.
Yes. And then is Mike McCarthy going to get fired or just a rush decision? Like, because everything in Dallas gets amplified.
There was talk that if he lost that game, they were going to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
But, when you bring in a new coach, depending on the team, you have to look at the owner first. What kind of owner do you have? I don't know. There's not too many coaches that would want to coach for Jerry Jones if he's going to always be meddling in your business.
Always. He's the one center of attention for everything.
I mean, he had problems with. You look at Bill Parcells and
Johnson.
When you have strong personalities, Barry Switzer took that job for a little while, and he got tired of it. So
Ex-Rams quarterback. Well, another of other teams too.
Yeah.
Browns, Panthers.
Yeah. I like
Rams,
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now Baker Mayfield kills the Eagles. The Eagles are they just had no heart. They didn't play with no energy at all.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is this: who are you going for between Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff? Lions and
Well,
Bucks?
for me, that's easy. I'm going for the Bucks.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Well, because the way that Detroit game went down, like everyone I talk to now is from Detroit. Everyone I meet has relatives in Detroit.
I only thought 3 people from Detroit: Eminem, Motown, and
Not now. Everybody, yeah. But the funny thing is like I'm thinking, what did Detroit win? Did they win the Super Bowl?
No.
Then why? I mean, if you're satisfied, if you're hanging up divisional banners, dude, that's embarrassing. To me, if you win a Super Bowl, I get it. But I seen one. It was a video. Goff was in the truck, like with his dad, and people were, like it was almost like a celebration, like a Super Bowl celebration. Everybody was honking, and I get it. It's exciting. You haven't won in 31 years or whatever, but you haven't won anything.
You know what I'm expecting next game? Eminem's going to come out singing "Lose Yourself" through the.
Well, the fans were singing that too, right?
Eminem's all up in the mix doing videos. Hey, because I didn't hear him. I didn't see him the whole year. All of a sudden, playoff time.
Yeah.
Give me tickets.
But a lot of Lion fans are like that too,
I know.
right?
I mean,
yeah. But you know what? I mean, let them enjoy it. But you haven't won anything.
You haven't won anything.
To me, it's like so. I like Baker Mayfield. I like what he did for the Rams when he beat the Raiders. I mean, that was pretty impressive. And I just like the Bucks better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call our guest on. We got AJ. We see him at the Rams tailgate, representing Rams Republic. Sure. I call him Cat Williams because you're was Cat Williams. He looks like he's about 23, but wait till you tell you how long he's been a Rams fan. But hey, our next guest coming up, AJ the Legend.
Yeah, let's go, y'all.
My name's Robert Bristow, owner of Value Tinas. We've been here for about 20 years. I've been the new owner for about 2.5 years. We're all about consistency, quality, and bang for your buck. We're located on Valley View in Lamson, 12385 Valley View Street. We open at 11, close at 9, 7 days a week. Welcome.
Joining us, representing Rams Republic. I see this guy at the tailgates early. I always say what's up to him in the morning. Say what's up to AJ the Legend. Thank you for joining us.
What's
you
up,
know,
brother?
Sal.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
definitely. Thanks for coming down.
It's always good to recover from a loss with Ramley. You know,
definitely. We all feel the same, huh?
I used to watch Walking Dead back in the day, and after Walking Dead, they had Talking Dead, and it was almost like a therapy session after the characters had died. So that's what this feels like.
Yeah, we all feel the same, same emotions, right?
So, question: you've been a Rams fan since 1979?
79,
You
brother.
look like you were born in 1999.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate
So
you.
tell us about you being around. Tell us that.
Oh, I tell you what, man. When everybody else, my little brother, younger than me now, he's a Niner fan. He loved him. Some Montana. My dad is a preacher. Mom used to be a nurse back in the day, and they really weren't into sports. They really didn't care. But I, living out here when I was at the time, was drawn to the Rams. I liked the helmets. I liked the colors. I liked our players. And 79 is what really got me that year, and been a fan since. So
wow, that was a good year too, huh? That was one of my favorite teams.
Lost to Pittsburgh. That was even, people refer to the game we lost to the Patriots 13-3. That was very similar. That Pittsburgh Super Bowl. We definitely should have scored more points to get that win. But hey. Life happens. As Ram fans, we know this.
But you know what's interesting is you said that like the uniform, the horns on the helmet, right?
Yeah.
So when I would travel around, I would ask Ram fans in different cities, like, you know, they never lived in LA, never lived in St. Louis,
Right.
why they became or how they became a Ram fan. And I'd say like 90%, you know, was the uniform and the horn on the helmet.
Right.
So that's pretty impressive that the Rams were able to attract a lot of fans. That's how it was for me. I grew up in Orange County, but the uniform and the horn on the helmet caught my attention.
And that's why there was a lot of controversy when the team came back and the scheme of the uniforms.
Yeah,
if y'all
yeah.
don't remember,
Yeah, I remember
all
that. Yeah, the scheme,
was a
the
lot.
old jersey, the blue and the yellow mixed matching.
And there was a lot of back and forth, and you know, it may not have been what everybody expected, but I've settled in with the new unis. I'm happy with them. You know, a lot of people didn't like the bone when they were out.
Yeah,
I like.
I love the bone. I think when they wear like, you know, all bone and then the blue helmet really pops, right?
Yeah.
But also I think that like there's a lot of when the Rams had the iconic uniform, right, in LA and then in St. Louis for a while, everybody loved those, but you know, the Rams, like everything in life, is progressive, right?
Yeah.
I tell people, you know, you might love your furniture, but if you go move in a mansion, you're not going to take your old furniture to a mansion. You're going to have to upgrade that. Yeah. You're going to have to upgrade, you know. And for me, it's like, I said, no matter what the Rams, like, one time it was funny because we were talking, I was talking to this group, and this lady says, when the Rams come back, I want them to look exactly like they did, you know, when they left in 1994.
Right.
And then I said, you know, things change, people change. I said, do you look like you did in 1994? I mean, everybody changes.
Is your wardrobe the same as
Right.
it was in
Some people-
1994?
Some people it is.
Some people.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But I just think that, you know, the Rams were right. They wanted to attract a younger and a more vibrant fan base.
Right.
And they really did with the new logos and stuff.
Absolutely.
A lot, you know, and a lot of the people that didn't like it, well, we won a Super Bowl in the old uniforms, and then now we won one in the new uniforms. And
right.
I think that kind of helped it also, right?
Yeah, it's become iconic in its own way for this new generation.
Yeah.
And that's what we want.
Yeah,
as
we still
Rams
have the
fans.
memories, right?
As we were talking about earlier, we want these younger kids to
Yes.
be wearing the Ram jerseys and growing into it and making SoFi one of those venues in the coming
Absolutely,
years
yeah.
that just
Absolutely.
gets packed. You know, we lost a lot of goodwill when the Rams lost, and the Niners were still here, and the Raiders and such. We lost generations of fans
Yeah, we
for
did,
LA.
we did.
So, but now I feel like we're rebuilding it back. So
My
that's what's
question
up.
is this: you've been a Rams fan since 1910. Who have been some of your Rams' favorite players throughout the years, or do you have a favorite player? Who do you like?
Man, I'll tell you what. I used to love '83 Flipper Anderson back in the day.
Most receiving yards in the
Willie
game.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Woo,
Didn't he go to
that was
UCLA?
my
He
guy.
attended UCLA,
That
right?
was my cat.
Yeah.
But of course, Eric Dickerson, man. Who doesn't love
Nah,
ED? So,
yeah.
you know, if I had to pick between those two, I would lean Eric. But Flipper is a close second. And I'll tell you what, that brother, man, I'll never forget. I was living in Illinois. I got to just tell this. Living in Illinois, 89, or the NFC divisional, playing the Giants.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My boy, Everett, up top, 30 yards later, Willie still running through the tunnels.
No, that was iconic, huh? And then the players started running in the tunnel. He never came out. That
He never
was so
came
cool.
out. And the call, Pat Summerall, on the call. Just
yeah.
amazing time in my life. I remember my cousins, they were like, because they're Bear fans or whatever, they're like, oh, one of my cousins was a Giant fan,
wow.
believe it or not. And yeah, man, just some good times from back in the day. Even though we didn't have the Super Bowls like we do now, good times as a Rams.
Now you were season ticket. How long you been a season ticket holder since they came
Since
back?
they've been back.
So at the Coliseum?
Days. One thing, shout out to my wifey Dara. She made sure that I had tickets. She's a hardcore Raider fan.
Oh, what? Wait, what fan?
Yes, she is.
A
She's
Ra-
a
so
hardcore
hold on.
Raider fan.
So how did that happen last year Thursday when the Rams
Well,
and Raiders?
you know, as I told her, if I'd known this before, you know, certain things that happened, this union may not have occurred. But, you know, life happens. So, yeah, she's a huge
But the cool
Raider.
thing is she's an NFL fan. Huh?
She is.
That's what I said. I just like that they love NFL. You
Yeah,
know?
that
We all
part.
have our own teams, but
That
it's
part.
cool that she likes football.
Well, and I love it. As she told one of her girlfriends one time, she goes, I don't want to be the wife that's sitting there complaining he's watching football. I want to watch it with him, and I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, it makes
So
it.
she
it
does
makes
the
it
same.
stronger,
She
yeah.
explains it to her girls who
Nice.
aren't into, first down is it? Oh, it's safety. You know, she knows her stuff. So.
Now you're part of a booster club.
exciting.
Give a shout out to your booster. Tell us
We
about
gotta
it.
always give love to the
Okay.
Rams Republic,
Okay.
baby. Rams Republic. Hey, you guys know
Yeah.
what we do. If y'all have ever seen me at SoFi, in that pink lot,
Yeah.
you know we be there early, and you know them bottles start popping around 5:30 a.m.
You drink that early? The water bottles in? I know, I
Man,
know.
but we have a great time.
sure do.
I've had a few games where I haven't made it in. The Tennessee game, one game.
Why did you
Oh,
make
is
it
that
in?
right?
Raider game.
Why did you make it in,
That-
man?
Well, you know.
See what happened
You know that
was-
tailgate life happens. We'll just leave it at like
So
that.
you were asleep.
Didn't have enough water? Didn't have enough water that day?
You know, when you wake up at home, you're blessed first. You're like, thank you, Jesus,
Yeah.
and then you move on. But nah, man, Rams
That's
Republic. We, you know, all the booster clubs
Yeah.
are great. You know, we love any booster club.
Yeah.
However, specifically myself, being a Rams Republic member, I will tell you, we are very family oriented. We involve everybody.
I always see y'all
It can
dancing.
be any team.
Yeah.
We'll rag you a little, but you know, we'll welcome you in, have a drink, have a shot, and let's go and have a good game.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think you know, it promotes good sportsmanship. You know, and that's one
Absolutely.
thing that kind of lacks sometimes with some fan bases.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
don't want to be the cat that's knocking out a Niner fan. No, my brother a Niner fan. He might come and try to knock me out for that. So,
Yeah.
And tell us where your viewing parties are during the year. Obviously, the season ended, but where do you guys have your viewing party? Let the people know.
so we spread out. We have members in the IE. You know, we have members here in the Long Beach, Lakewood area, Los Angeles.
Okay.
So we try to spread it out to different venues, not make it a
Yeah, so it
boring-
makes it nice so
But
fans in that area.
Yeah,
close-
we are. Our last for the playoff game was at Bronx in Bellflower, California, which
Okay.
is a great venue. You guys look them up, social media, look them up on Google. Bronx, it's a really good establishment. But going into the next season, I think we will be there. But we also may expand and go to other places because we want to try to reach as many Ram fans as we can.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
get everyone involved and let them know, hey, we have a good time and come to our games. Let's stop this trend with the other teams. Fans
Everybody
being
come together.
maybe half or even in some cases more than us. You know, we want a true home field
Yeah,
advantage.
that's good. Yeah.
So speaking of the playoff game, where did you watch? I forgot to ask. Where did you watch the playoff game at? I know you watched it at El Torito, right?
Yeah, I watched it at
and
El
did
Torito.
the director was there and got you some footage.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it
he
wasn't
did,
probably
he
happy
did.
footage at the end. Beginning, you're like,
No, but you know, even some of the footage, it was amazing because when George was filming, I was thinking to myself, this is the first time ever where he got like live footage with my emotion.
ooh.
So there's gonna be some times, so you can see like, I mean, there was times I was fired up.
For people at home, we're going to see how Sal reacted during the playoff game at El Torito.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, Sal's usually quiet, but I guarantee at El Torito, he's probably hyped up for this playoff
Yeah,
game because
yeah.
I remember we watched the playoff game together versus the Bucks, and Sal was running crazy. He was acting hyper, doing flips.
Yeah.
There you go. 7-3. We got a field goal, yeah. But at least the field goal kicker made it, so that's pretty big. So. Oh, yeah, he don't like to be pressured, so keep doing it, we'll be all right. Okay, come on, stop him. Stop him. Yeah, 21-10. I knew it would be a shootout. Got to stop them. Gotta stop that offense. You know, they're on a roll right now, but it's all good. 3 for 3, so we got to shut it down.
Wow.
Plenty of time. All we need is a field goal. Let's go. Can you do? Still a good season. Good proud of the Rams. Next year it is.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, I
That's real.
go to like I'm usually really quiet, reserved, but in football games, it's funny. I walk out and people are like really quiet. They're like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "What? Oh, you become a completely different person." I said, "You know what? I'm 7 years old when I'm watching the Rams.
Yeah.
I block everything out, and I said, how many things in life do you get that feeling for, right?
First off, you own to get off my lawn, okay?
That's right?
You heard that, so don't let nobody tell you
That's
differently,
right.
all right?
And then another funny thing that I like about real, true Ram fans, longtime Ram fans, I tell people, like Sam Farmer when he was, when the Rams were, all the talk about the Rams returning and stuff, but they were saying that there wasn't, real Ram fans. I said, that's true, longtime Ram fans. I said, we're like the California condor. We're an endangered species,
Yep.
We went through it all. We went through owners, relocations, and we're still
TJ Ruble.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! And a lot of those games are always, some of the more, passionate games have always been against 49ers. But even in my family, I have Niner fans too. So you can't. Not everyone can be a Ram fan, but it's all good that it's a friendly type of rivalry. But and I always keep it that way. In the end, it's like, one guy's like, oh, we killed you. I said, really? What number were you? Maybe I seen you on the field. He's like, I wasn't on the field. I said, exactly, just like me. I'm not on the field either. I only have two jobs. I either boo or cheer. That's it. Yeah. But in the end, it's like, I'm just a fan. I'm a supporter. Well, I've been a supporter for the Rams too. I said, no, you're a complainer. You've been complaining for 30 years. I said, a fan supports his team. You're just complaining. He's like, yeah, you got me. You know what? You made me a better fan. I go, that's not my job to make you a better fan. I just think that when you watch a game, keep the vibe, positive. And that's what I like about the Booster Clubs, because everybody does it differently, but we're all the same.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And to me, I think it's great that, when people extend, their tailgates to other Ram fans, to just fans in general, that's respectful, and it also makes it easier when the Rams are on the road, right? And fan bases remember how we treated them. Yeah. So when we go out there and you see Ram, hey, come here, you guys took care of us, let us take care of you. And that's what it's about.
And to your point, just real quick, on that same level, back in the Coliseum days when we played Green Bay, if you don't remember that,
I was there. I remember.
I was part of a different booster club then, but there were Green Bay fans. They were kind of sitting off on the side, looked bored. They had their case of beer, didn't have anything to do. So, I went over to them, razzed them a little, whose house, all that good stuff. Yeah. Hey, why you guys sitting over here? Come have a drink with a brother, whatever.
That's
they
what you're known for. You always knew
to this day. The people that lived out there, they're still out there. Gabe and some of his other friends, Nolan, that they reach out to me. They say, go Rams when we're playing over social media.
That's awesome.
They welcome me, like if I want to go out there during the game to stay with them. So just having good...
Yeah, those are true fans. And I think that's awesome that you do that.
And that's what we need.
Yeah, we need a lot more of that. Because, when you see all these fights at SoFi or these different games, that's crazy. And then another funny thing is, when people say, oh, we took over your stadium, I said, 49ers took over our stadium. Raiders take over our stadium. Yeah. Eagles take over our stadium. Green Bay takes over our stadium. You can take over our stadium as long as you don't take over the scoreboard. Yeah. That's all I worry about. And you know what? It gets quiet. When we're winning, it gets real quiet. Right. And that was a funny thing when I was talking to a Niner fan. I said, so I'm sitting in my seats. Behind us is 6 Niner fans. Yeah. And the game's about to start. And he goes, excuse me. He taps me on the shoulder. He goes, excuse me, when are the Ram fans going to show up?
Chirping.
Yeah. And I said, when's your Vince Lombardi trophy going to show up? Yeah. And then he says, well, it showed up 5 times. I said, 28 years ago.
I like to tell him, were you even born? Half these kids. Yeah. Were you even born last time the Niners
They weren't. Yeah. And it was so funny because he says, well, it showed up 5 times. I said, yeah, do you watch the games? I said, do you have a VHS? And everyone started laughing. And then his friend's like, dude, he said, this guy's burning you. Just leave it alone. And then he goes, okay, but dude, you got to, he said, you got to admit one thing to me. And I said, what? He goes, you Ram fans are milking that Super Bowl you won 2 years ago. And I said, and United fans are milking the 5 you won 28 years ago. Everyone started laughing again. Yeah.
Thank you so much to our guest, AJ, for joining us.
Appreciate
y'all. Big shout out to all the Booster Club. Big shout out to Rams.
Awesome, thanks for coming down.
Thank you for joining us.
Let's go.
Rams house.
Let's get it, baby.
Woo, thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Stateside, nationwide, take them back to Red Bakery. Whole grain loaf, fish briquettes, ciabatta rolls, regular rolls. You guys know you can't make a sandwich without bread, right? What are you going to use for your peanut butter jelly sandwich? You need bread. Why not take a break from the Brea Bakery? For all your tailgating needs, all your family holidays, your family functions, take a break with the Brea Bakery. At all retail locations in California and nationwide. You see the hat? You see the shirt? Podcast sponsor and tailgate sponsor, the Brea Bakery. Take a break. We'll see you at tailgate.
Enough said, come on. Who's house? Rams house. You know who we rolling. Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Hit like, share a link. Who's house? Rams house. You know who we rolling. Golden Rams Buzz Podcast. Home of the champions. Who's house? Rams house. You know who we rolling.
So, Sal, let's round up these playoff games. The Texans blew out the Browns. C.J. Stroud, Sal.
Wow.
Rookie of the year, in my opinion. C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody that watches that, watches them play will be kind of sold on that. He is pretty impressive. And, I'm happy for the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
That whole franchise, I'm happy for the coach. They're moving in the right direction. It makes the NFL more exciting also. So I say the Texans.
The Chiefs beat the Dolphins 26-7. Mm-hmm. The Bills beat the Steelers 31-17. Now we have 8 teams remaining, Sal. Let's talk about the matchups. Texans versus the Ravens. Who do you have?
It's going to be a lot better game than people think. I'm going for the Texans.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would like to see C.J. Stroud continue that rookie season. I think he's doing excellent.
And then the Chiefs, Bills. This is the first time Patrick Mahomes ever had to travel on the road for a playoff game. Mm-hmm. This has been a classic. You remember the 13-second game? Mm-hmm. They go back and forth. Chiefs and Bills. Who do you have?
I actually think that after watching that game, the Bills are kind of getting hot. I think the Bills are going to win that game. And I think that the Bills actually have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl.
So for the Texans-Ravens, I got the Ravens. And then for the Chiefs-Bills, I got the Chiefs. Obviously, we have the NFC game. Niners and Packers. I can never root for the Niners, so you already know my answer. Who you got?
that game is going to be interesting, too. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I like Love's playing good football right
I got
now.
love for Love.
So are the Packers. The Packers are playing good ball, but, I'm just not sold on Purdy.
I don't think it's going to be. Hopefully, it's not a Purdy game for Purdy that game.
Yeah, you know what? It's going to be on prime time, 5 o'clock on Saturday night. I can't wait. But I would love to see the Niners, be knocked out. Just, as a jealous Ram fan, if we don't go, they don't go.
And then the battle of the ex-Rams, Lions and Bucks. You said you wanted the Bucks to win.
I want Bucks all day.
So, I think the Lions. I mean, you going for the Bucks? I'm going for the Lions because I want. Yeah, I don't know something about the Lions. I know they just beat us, but Amon Ross St. Brown's from Orange County, Jared Goff ex-Rams. So Brad Holmes ex-GM of the Rams, Reynolds ex-receiver for the Rams. They got all these ex-Rams players. Plus, I like Eminem. I like Eminem a lot too. So Eminem's one of my favorite rappers. So it's gotta be funny to see.
But for me, I take it personal. The fact that we lost, it's like cheering for your ex-girlfriend. I don't want her to have no success. I don't want to see her. To me, the Lions are getting a lot more hype than they really deserve. I mean, they beat the Rams, but, for me, it's like I like Baker Mayfield. Right? I think it's, I would love to see him do something.
Yeah. I think because I want to see, like, the Lions. It's going to be crazy because the Lions win it and the Packers win. It'll be an NFC, And then also, you said Jared Goff wins. He goes back to San Francisco wins. Jared Goff goes to the Bay. Anything can happen. But
me personally, it's like, I just I take the emotions out of it, and every team has ties, to California.
Yeah, and as long as they have who you want to win the Super Bowl, I said any team but the Niners. I can never root for the Niners. I don't want them to win the Super Bowl. I'd rather have any team win except for the Niners. But also, besides, I don't have a Super Bowl winner, but I'm rooting for Sal Martinez to win NFL Fan of the Year, Super Bowl weekend.
Now that makes sense.
You should vote for him. NFL.com. Yeah. This man's going against 32 other NFL fans.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, come on. I don't know what the other fans have. I know what he has. And you know what's funny? He has never voted for himself. So,
I never have. Yeah, I never have. But, for me, it's like I do it for the love of the game. When I opened my shop, it was to keep Ram fans together. To me, it's like, it is an honor to represent the Rams. But, if I win, that'd definitely be great. But, either way, I'm going to be the same. And for me, it's just cool of all the people I met. But it'll be nice being out in Vegas and watching the Super Bowl.
And you're going to go to bed every night by 10 o'clock in Vegas, 9 o'clock?
I know.
With that being said, in that episode, Quarter Round Buzz Podcast, thank you to our sponsor, La Brea Bakery Bread, Value Tina's Pizza, Big Rob,
Yeah, the
our
pizza's
guest,
amazing.
AJ the Legend, our director, George.
Yeah,
Thank you to
yeah.
everybody who likes, share, subscribe. Whose house?
Rams
Whose house?
Rams.
Woo! What a team with that?
Always.